What do you do when you want to know the real-life application of a learning question? You create an action learning project, of course. Here's the recipe for mine. First, I needed participants. I used 4 rising sophomores from a local high school. We'll call them A, B, C, and D. I should note they were all girls, and I met them at a Barnes & Noble. This could potentially bias my findings. Other ingredients in my ALP include VoiceThread and a set of questions. Mix the participants and VoiceThread together and let them simmer in the questions. Then, see what you have. For my ALP, the main questions were, how can young adult literature and technology work to motivate students in the literature classroom? More specifically, will students be more motivated to read and learn if the language of their learning is the same as the language of their living? First, I presented students with a VoiceThread. The first slide asked them to pitch a book they would recommend others to read during the summer. I heard, "The City of Bones series, the whole thing, it's amazing." "The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian," and "The Percy Jackson series." The teens told me they chose these books because they were catchy. Sometimes that came from images, sometimes from lines of dialogue, and sometimes from comedy. Next, I asked the students about technology. What kinds of technology do they have in their classroom? Would they like to see anything added? First, they told me their classrooms have high-tech projectors on the ceiling which facilitate presentations. The teens really liked that. Then, they mentioned they all have laptops, but a few of them were quick to point out they don't use Twitter. One student said, "One of my teachers set up a webcam so we could see her friend and discuss with her. That was cool because it was something new." Regarding additions of technology and their role in the classroom, the teen said technology should be used to draw a reader in, and maybe it should provide pictures to go along with reading. Those teens were already showing a tendency toward dual coding. Finally, I invited the teens to rant about literature and technology in their English classes. They were quick to point out that teens don't like dark stuff. I asked for clarification, and they said they enjoy dark stuff, but the average teen doesn't. Teens want something interesting. They would love to see additions of manga and more mythology in their assigned readings. In terms of technology, they were excited to talk about VoiceThread. They enjoyed the one that we did together. It was their first, and they were already imagining a scenario in which their class connected with a class in Japan to discuss literature through a VoiceThread. Was I right about the language of living being the best language of learning? Well, as it turns out, teens want collaboration, creativity, and the surprise of new things. That doesn't mean the actual language or themes of a book have to reflect the teens. It just means teens need a way to connect and participate with books they've already got. And that's where technology comes in. Teens aren't screaming about a lack of technology in their classroom. And they don't feel as if a lack of a Twitter back channel is a gross disservice to their young adult culture. What they really want is just the opportunity to share and discuss. This brings me to the main discovery I made in my action learning project. It's not necessarily the presence of young adult literature or technology that motivates students. The materials used in the English classroom don't have to be cutting edge. They just have to allow students to learn through a language that our technologically heavy world has taught them, a language of networking and participation. So, it looks like activity is motivation. Now that's a language I can speak.